Hello and welcome to the March 2019 Sunshine Summit. My name is Heather and I am your host. I'm the host of Sunshine and Power Cuts, which is a podcast, but also in association with Geeks Rising. This week, I'm bringing to you a week of live streams to recognize and celebrate connections. This is day 6. We've been live streaming for the past few days. We started off with Csomo from the Varmints podcast. Then we had Ducky, and he's in the live chat. We also had Jim Collison from Gadget, Geeks. Then we had Steph Fuccio from Virtual Expats, Expat Rewind, and Changing Scripts podcasts. We've had Win Kelly Charles from Ask Win, and Mark Diaz from Mark's Movie Collection, and then Adela from Podcast Brunch Club joined us yesterday. Today I am so grateful to be joined by returning March Sunshine Summit guest, the wonderful Nick Haskins. Welcome, Nick.
I am so glad to be here again. Thank you very much for having me.
You're most welcome. And thank you for being part of the very first Sunshine Summit back in March 2018.
I am not going to cook a burger live on the air this time. Not going to happen.
But that was epic last year, and it was a Sunshine Summit and Irish-inspired burger. It was awesome. But thank you for making the effort then.
Yep.
We've got amazing things to talk about and celebrate today. And yeah, a lot has happened since March last year.
Yeah.
A lot. After March, I was a part of Livestream for the Cure, which is kind of the big topic for today. It's coming up again this May, and it was amazing to be a part of that, supporting it and raising funds for the Cancer Research Institute. What you're doing is incredible, and you've put so much into it, and I'm really proud to be a part of it again this year.
It's number one, it was the most fun to have you involved in it last year, because every time somebody made a $5 donation, you had to sing a song. And I still don't know, because we re-aired the segment last week on the show, and I don't know if you actually fulfilled all of those singing requirements. So nope. I don't know.
I didn't. So I owe people some singing.
But yeah, it was such an amazing time. You closed out day 1 for us last year at like 2:30 in the morning or some kind of absurd nonsense like that, because I'm crazy and just stay online for a certain number of hours. But it was an amazing time to have you. I'm so thrilled that you're coming back, and I can't wait to see. You came up with like a lot of really fun stuff and got a lot of fun questions from your audience and your listeners last year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really fun to see what you come up with this year. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, so am I. Once we wrap up this one, I'm going to go full into my planning for May, for May this year. We've got some great
Although that's only one segment. You don't have to worry about wrangling everything else, just one segment.
I know. That is going to be a relief, but hats off to you, because what you're doing and putting into Livestream for the Cure is amazing. It is a big event. You're pulling in a lot of people to participate in it. How many hours are you live streaming for this year?
40. And it's going to be all over one weekend. So we're starting Eastern time Friday at 10 a.m. And we're not going to end until Sunday at 4 p.m. And it's going to be basically Friday and Saturday are 16 hours each.
Wow.
And then Sundays, like last year, Sunday was almost as long as Friday and Saturday. Like I spread it out more evenly. This year, I'm front ending it a little bit. So Sunday won't be quite as taxing, and I get to end earlier and fall out of my chair right at 4 o'clock, because I'll be dead to rights.
Yeah, I can imagine. How was it last year, sort of recovering after that one? Like everything that went into it. We raised more money than you had hoped for, which was awesome. But then how was it afterwards?
Hard? See, last year was terrible, because we decided to stay up. Loot Quest stayed on until 3 or something in the morning, and then I had to get up at 8 o'clock Sunday morning to start the stream again for that day. But it wasn't too terrible. I'm used to being up late, and I'm used to not functioning on a ton of sleep, so it wasn't a super bad adjustment. My throat hurt a little bit after it all, and I can't imagine. I don't know how I'm going to do 40 hours, and I mean, I think after this year, I think I just have to just continuously do like 72 hours, like a whole weekend straight, like never getting offline, like just falling over, passing out.
I hope that more people, as we spread awareness for it and more people get on board. I mean, the guest spots that you have, they've been good, and people bring their own element to it and bring people in to help support and raise funds for it. You've got is a live page ready to go now for Livestream for the Cure.
It is. Yep. It's livestreamforthecure.com. That takes you right over to the Cancer Research Institute, who is the amazing organization that we do this event for every single year. They are rated 92% on charitynavigator.org and 88 cents. And it's actually really good. The first year it was 88 cents, and then last year it was only 86 cents. I don't know why. And now this year it's 88 cents
Cool.
out of every dollar. But it's still, you know what, it's a really, really good percentage of every dollar that goes to actual immunotherapy research so they can cure all forms of cancer, which is, you know, something that I'm so passionate about it. And I just hate cancer. Like, anything that I can do, like, every day and every time the workload gets to be taxing, every time I feel stressed out about the event, and this is organizing a large event with a lot of different people, how many moving parts there are and how frustrating it can get at times.
Yeah.
And it's just like every single time I feel that frustration, I remember, number one, you mentioned all the amazing guests we're going to have. We are going to have a crazy, crazy amount of just amazing people who are involved with it. And I love that it doesn't celebrate connections exactly the way the Sunshine Summit does, but it still does in a way, because everybody gets to bring a little bit of themselves to it and put their own thing into it and galvanize their own audiences, which I love. But it also just gives me the opportunity to just raise money for something I'm passionate about. And we have just a crazy amount of support in the community, this ever growing indie podcast community that just always wants to help and wants to be a part of the event. And that to me is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Last year, when the lead up came through, I lost a family member to cancer, and it made it hit home even harder. And I've lost others as well over the time, but that hit home for me that year. And this year we lost Perry Johnson, who was a part of the March 2018 Sunshine Summit also.
I wish I could. I have my cameras mounted and I don't want to move it because I'll mess up the thing. But I have right here in front of me, when I built my shelf for my computer, right down here. Oh, screw it. I'm going to move it anyway, just so you guys can see it. But right down here, I have, and the sun, it's sunshine and power cuts, of course. So the sun is blaring in the window right now. But I have, there's the pod stuff right there, and Livestream for the Cure, and then there's Hello Life WTF. I put all those logos right there when I built this little stand for my computer. That wasn't too bad. I'm right back.
Yeah.
Just because, like, and it gives me a little bit of inspiration. Like, whenever I think about the Livestream for the Cure, whatever, I can just reach forward and I can just give it a little bump, you know, and just, Perry said last year when he was on the event, it was one of the things that has stuck with me ever since he was on. And of course, ever since he passed, was that he said he was a big fan of us both. And, I feel like I have to carry on, like, even more so, like, it's just more galvanizing, because it sucks to have met someone and then lost someone in the same, at the same time, who cared so much about this event. But that makes me, like, that much more galvanized to just carry that flag even more,
Yeah. When I first connected with them, they were a bright light, and they shared so much of themselves through Hello Life WTF. They were so passionate about the pod stuff. It was an awesome opportunity to get to see them on video and talk to them for that interview for their show. And it was funny because at the time Perry said that he wouldn't necessarily have picked up a show like mine, but he listened to it and it sort of calmed him down and he really enjoyed it. And I was a bright light. And when they went through their struggles, I said, I'm sending all my sunshine. And he said, that's a lot of sunshine. And he just had this way of making you feel amazing when you talk to him. And
he did.
I have been struggling with that in this one, because a year ago he was here and he's not now. And so thank you for being a part of this and coming back so we could just share that little light on Perry, because I've been struggling with that this week.
Yeah, God, what like it was so tough. Like when I listened back to the episode, and I listened back to the episode like before, but I hadn't intended on even touching it for a while because I've just been periodically slowly releasing the content from Livestream for the Cure
Yeah.
2 to promote Livestream for the Cure 3 because it's kind of I've got so much content generated from it now that I can just kind of keep it cyclical.
Hmm.
But after he passed, I had to put out that episode, and it remains one of my favorite things we've ever done. I mean, I love how much our community, after literally just emptying their wallets, emptying their purses, just emptying their pockets to help us raise so much money for the Cancer Research Institute, still came out, and we raised just shy of $800 for Perry and Lindsay as well.
Yeah.
And I just hearing, that was very, very early. He had just been diagnosed. He had just had his port put in,
Hmm.
and it was really, really galvanizing to hear how passionate he was about. I mean, it was really funny because the only thing he said, like when we were talking about it, he's like, "I just want to find out how the next Avengers movie ends. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like graduations, like kids' weddings and all that stuff." He's like, "Yeah, I don't care about it. I want to know how the next Avengers movie ends." So that's like a month and a half away now from that. And when I'm in the theater, I'm just gonna have that kind of moment where I'm just like, you know, feeling Perry's kind of presence around
Yeah.
me while I'm watching it.
That's awesome. That is very, very cool. I hope that's why I'm proud to support the live stream for the cure, because what it is going to do is going to help that process to help others. And like the podcasting community was incredible when they found out there was was it a GoFundMe campaign? I think that's still operating.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's other things. I'll put the links out to them after this as well, because Lindsay is doing an incredible job. What an amazing woman to carry on with her family. And
I can't even imagine how I can't even imagine how tough all this has been on her. And I reached out to her, I want to say it was like a month and a half ago now, because I want to dedicate this year's event to Perry. And part of that is going to be last year during the live stream for the cure, we started, or at least I tried to it. We did it too late, so we didn't have a ton of people that got involved in it. But I want to do something called What's Your Story? Because the live stream for the cure isn't just for us. It isn't just for whomever. It's for everybody because everybody's affected by cancer. And we all hate cancer. I mean, I don't know anybody that likes it.
yeah,
So, I want to put out there for people to be able to say, this is who, if you think of like Relay for Life or like other things, like you pick the person, or you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for someone else. Like, who is it that has you investing in the live stream for the cure? Like, share pictures, share stories, share whatever, and just get, we're gonna assemble all that stuff. But what I want to do, because I want to dedicate it to Perry, because they were the first ones last year. Those two were the first ones that bought Livestream for the Cure shirts when they went on sale.
yeah,
First ones, they sent the picture and I was overjoyed.
yeah,
And, like the event meant something to them. And then that was before the diagnosis. And then, of course, after the diagnosis, even more so. So to me, it's really, really important to do that. So I need to reach back out to her again so I can. I'm going to have her just reach out to her family and friends and just have them send me en masse either photos, stories, or whatever. And then throughout the event, like we're going to pepper them in just here and there, just a little. Well, what's your story? Like we'll stop for just a minute and just talk more about, you know, why we're doing this event, why this event is so important, because you know, that was such a you mentioned a light,
hmm,
you mentioned such a bright light, that his presence was, and it really, really was. And I hate every single time that cancer takes one of those away, takes a person like Perry away, who just was so full of life. It was amazing to listen to the two of them on Hello Life or on the pod stuff. It was amazing to talk to him.
yeah.
It was just, you know, that's what I want to know. So that'll be forthcoming information where you can submit that stuff, or you can start sending it now at livestreamforthecure@gmail.com. If you have it,
Yeah.
whatever, send it to me. It'll go into the database in my head that's full of information. way too much information, to
Yeah.
be frank, but it's in there.
I think that's awesome because that's letting people shine their light on the people that meant a lot to them. So I think that would be an incredible element to have for Livestream for the Cure.
Yeah, we just didn't get a chance to do it last year early enough. Like I thought of it, I think like a week or two before the actual event, and I haven't really. We're getting to be. The event starts in 2 months and 3 days, so for me right now, it's more about finishing up and getting things set up, and then I'm going to start really assembling individual components. Like, I mean, you get the emails, the massive novels I send out to Livestream for the Cure participants. Like, I'm sure people get these emails and they're like, "Oh my god, Nick, stop typing." But like, I'll start connecting with people on a one-on-one basis sometime in either early April or mid-April, like a month ahead of the event, to really plan individual segments. And that's probably when we'll really launch What's Your Story, is probably like the beginning of April. So we can get enough time to get a lot of information. And then we had a slideshow going on the
Yes.
event last year. We'll do that again this year, of
Cool.
just pictures of people why this event, why you have taken an interest in the event, why you have donated, why you have taken your time to guest host, or whatever else the case may be, to be part of the event, why you have chosen to be part of it, and you know who it is, that you're donating for or fighting for.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really valuable. I enjoyed the slideshow last time. And just tying this into the Sunshine Summit, in the March 2018 Sunshine Summit is when Emily Prokop got the livestream for thecure.com for you, which was incredible. She did it during your segment last year. And Emily Prokop of The Story Behind is an amazing person. She's a beautiful person, and she managed to do that. So that was cool to have that then.
She's literally, aside from you, she's literally the greatest human being alive. I love her to death. And she's still like, I asked her, I can't remember when it was. It was a while after she bought the URL. I was like, "Do you want me to just, take it over or whatever?" She did the same thing with the Epic Film Guys URL way back in the day, years ago now, when I first met her. We didn't have the URL. We didn't have a website. We just had whatever the Podcatcher website is on Podbean. And she was like, "Why don't you guys just buy epicfilmguys.com? It's like $20 for like 3 years." And I'm just like, "I don't know. I just haven't got to it." Justin said he was going to do it, yada, yada, yada. So finally she bought it, and then she redirected it to her. It was Classy Little Podcast at the time, was her show. She redirected it to her podcast page. And then, finally she signed it over, and she gave it to us as a gift, which was also super, super nice, because she didn't have to do that either. But she still has the live stream for the Cure one. Because like it was like mid-April last year. I was like, "Remind me when the event's over to have you sign it over to me." And she's like, "No, I don't care, whatever." She's like, "I'll keep it, it doesn't matter."
That's it. Yeah.
And it's really, really nice of her, because I just had to actually message her the other day, because when we got the Cancer Research Institute site up, I want the live stream for the Q URL to redirect to that.
Yeah.
So she took care of it. And that's how amazing she is, though. Like, she doesn't even think twice about doing this stuff. And I'm like, "You don't have to do this. I will do it." And she's like, No, it's fine."
She's on it. She's awesome. We have got the live stream for thecure.com link in the top of the chat there if anyone wants to check it out from here. And it's also on the Sunshine Summit website as well, because, proud to be supporting that and making it easy for people to get to. David in the chat said you wouldn't download a brain.
How else am I going to get one?
Oh. Yeah.
I am watching the chat. I see Nice Guy Adams over there.
Nice Guy Adam.
I think I saw Chris Yaney over there. He's one of our top level patrons. He's one of our executive producers on Epic Film Guys. So thank you very much for coming out, Chris. If you're still in there somewhere, I know he was up top. He said, "Will there be singing? Please have singing." Not for me, but Heather still owes Livestream for the Cure 2.0 a few songs. So yeah.
Have we got a request then? If someone wants to put one in the chat.
Nobody wants to hear me sing.
Oh, well, if they
at all.
You're busy dealing with all the feels, Andrew. Oh yeah, I've got my makeup running because I had a bit of a cry there before. So, but if anyone has any song requests for this live stream today, maybe a duet.
Maybe a duet. Oh my god, it would be weird though, because like there's just that little bit of a delay, so it would be like
tricky.
You would start singing, Yeah, and then I would have to try to start synchronizing with you, but then I'd get ahead and you'd be like, no, wait. And the way would be take up literally the rest of the hour just trying to synchronize.
The Teenage
Teenage
Mutant...
Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
How does that one even go? Some
Yeah.
11.
Wow. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can hear myself in my head, so I'm hearing the words like a second later, and it's really screwing me up.
Adam said no one... He seconds that no one wants to hear you sing. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
He will second that. Everybody else will like third it, fourth it, fifth it, a millionth it. Nobody does. I promise. Nobody. But I do appreciate Adam also has a live stream for the Cure link over on his website. He said, thank you very much. Anybody who plays the promos are now available. You can, I do not know, livestreamforthecure.com/promo. And I'll make sure that Emily has that created and directed to the Google Drive where I have the promos. I don't think I do right now, so don't go there yet. I will though. Or message me on Twitter. It's at livestream4cure or at Epic Film Guys, whichever one. Email livestreamforthecure@gmail.com and I will get you promos. Play the promos. I really, really appreciate everybody that has already. I've been hearing them and seeing them pop up literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how people will see and they jump at the chance to play them and to promote the event for me. And it's more than I ever could have dreamed of when I first started talking about the event and doing the event. And it's just crazy how amazing the community is that rallies around this thing every single time. I love literally all you guys. I really, really do. I do.
Yeah, 100%. And I enjoyed playing them too. You make a really great promo to play. I love that you had different variations of it, and I liked mixing them up in my show. And I'm definitely gonna have them in there once I get back after this summer event to have them in. It's funny that time.
I wanted to do more than one this year.
Yeah.
Last year I didn't. Last year I only did the one. And then this year we're actually going to do a second run promo and we're going to do a third promo. Like, so the next one's coming next month. And I was making fun of Justin on our show that released today because he forgets to say .com at the end of Livestream for the Cure. So it's just www.livestreamforthecure. So we're going to do a second run of promos. I left it in because I thought it was hilarious, but then we're going to do a third run in May.
Okay.
And like the April one, we'll focus on probably the What's Your Story thing. Cause to me, I think that's the next logical step. And that's the next logical thing to do with Livestream for the Cure is connect more to the stories of the people that this means so much to. And that, why would you want to take your time to raise money for cancer research or to donate to cancer research or whatever? Who is it that has been affected in your life that galvanizes that? And that I think is it's so important to do. And I think that's how we keep people alive is we fight for their memory. We keep their memory alive by making sure that we donate and we donate and we donate and we do everything we can until cancer doesn't exist anymore. And then we find the next thing and we go after that. And then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
Yeah. I love that.
I'm not a bully. I'm your friendly neighborhood troll.
Summer lovin'.
Bandra does want to hear me sing. Bandra's the only one in the world.
Oh, and hear you sing.
No, nobody does. I just sang the Turtles song. It's not. You guys hear me talk. Imagine this trying to harmonize. It's.
I don't know that I can even harmonize when I was in the choir. So there you go. I think, yeah.
My.
Last time I sang the Portal theme song because that was kind of in my head. I managed to record a cover of that, which was awesome. I really enjoyed doing that. But yeah, Summer Lovin' happened so fast. I don't know the rest of the words.
Yeah, neither do I. Nick, you should do spoken word Rocket Man like William Shatner. Rocket Man. That movie looks so good. I can't wait to see that movie.
I've seen Grease way more than I liked him. That's Mark from Mark's Movie Collection. He was a guest earlier this week, and yeah. That's such a good movie.
No shame.
Yeah.
No shame ever in how many times you have ever seen any movie ever. You know how many times I've watched 1995's Judge Dredd? A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I have a problem, guys. I have a problem.
Just want to talk about live streaming, though. You have been going live quite a bit, and you do it over on Twitch, and you want to help. That's where you'll be doing or streaming live stream for the Q2 is on Twitch.
Yeah, and you had told me, because we had talked just very briefly today, because I'd messaged you just to confirm which platform we were going to be on.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that you were trying to use Restream to do it multiple platform.
Yeah.
And after doing that last year, I promptly threw it out the window.
Yep.
I am not dealing with multiple platforms this year. I am not dealing with multiple connections this year.
Mm-hmm.
You will connect via up here. You will watch it on Twitch. The end. It's just adding extra layers of work for no reason.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just like, no. Twitch.tv/epicfilm, guys. Subscribe and get ready, because this year's
gonna be epic.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane. And I like Dan from Netflix and Swill, he executive produces the event, quote unquote, we like to call it. But he's invaluable, because what he will do is he will make sure that everybody is connected properly, everybody's working properly. And so this year, what I'm able to do, we're going to upgrade do you have a Peer Pro, Heather, or do you just have a Peer, the free edition?
Jim asked me that earlier this week. I actually wish that I'd gone with Pro for this week, because it would have been cool to have it recorded that way as well, just as a backup.
Oh,
but, yeah. I love Appearing, and that was something that I connected with you from last year's event, and it's been amazing for this. So, yeah, I haven't, but I want to. I think that's what you're going to use.
It's absolutely amazing. And so we're going to upgrade to a Pro account. And because we have to, because we're going to have some segments that are going to have more than 4 people on them.
Yeah.
But we're going to upgrade, and then wait, I lost my train of thought now. Words are
hard.
There's so much going on in my head at all times. I can't even think straight sometimes. But we're going to upgrade to a Pro account this year. And that's what I was going to say. We're going to have, when you have a Pro account, you can have separate rooms under the same login.
Cool.
And so what we're going to do is, when we upgrade to the Pro account, we're going to have a green room. So whenever, like, before it's time for your segment to start, like, you'll log on, like how you and I logged on and, clicked on the link and we chatted a little bit before we got online.
Yeah.
Well, what we'll do, because the live stream for the Cure just keeps going and going and going and going, you'll get in the green room and chat with Dan and just make sure your mic levels are okay, that you can hear everything, that he can hear everything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, once it's time, you click on the main show one, and then you come right on the air live.
Nice,
without
smooth.
Even skipping a beat. And I've even been thinking about it. Like, we had Afterburn 739 on last year. They had a lot of different video content that they were playing, and I was trying, the sound was coming from them, but I was trying to play the video and trying to synchronize it. It was a nightmare last year, and I don't know why I even tried to plan it that way. So this year, with a Peer Pro, I'm going to take all their video content, because they'll be able to watch it in real time through a Peer on their end, and I'll be able to feed it out to the stream.
Awesome.
It's like, I don't know why I didn't think of it last year, but yeah, I forget what it is. I think it's like $10 a month. So I'm going to do it next month in April and just have Premiere Pro for 2 months, so I can just kind of learn the ins and outs of whatever's different about it and whatever. And it's going to be great. It's really, really going to be great. And yeah, I probably will record it that way as well, just because, why not?
Yeah. It's good to have that. And I love that you've been reusing the ones from last year and bringing them out. I got to see when you tweeted or shared on Patreon that you had my segment Be Empowered by Nature with my clip in it there. And that's an awesome way of bringing it back and reusing it and sharing it for people who didn't make it then, and then helping entice people to come and check out the next one to see what's going to be involved, because it's a huge amount of things and very different from everyone who's coming and bringing their own thing to it.
It's really, really good, because whenever you're like, I really don't feel like either you don't feel like recording or your co-hosts can't make it or you don't have anything to talk about, I have a wealth to mine of like stuff. Because originally we were just gonna roll. We were of course gonna replay your segment from last year's live stream for the cure, but we were gonna roll it on a Monday by itself. And then I was like, well, Justin can't record and we don't have anything else to talk about. And then I was like, oh wait, we have all these movie trailers I can talk about. And then I was just like, let's roll it all into one thing. And then I got to play your promo on top of it, and I got to talk about Sunshine Summit as well. So I got to kind of roll everything into one ball as a kind of promotional thing. What 184, guys, episode 184 of Epic Film Guys. If you want to hear Heather singing from last year's event, she's going to do nothing but sing this year. She doesn't know yet, but literally the whole time she's on the air, she's going to be singing.
Oh, oh dear. I might need some.
It'll be like, it'll be her time to come on the air, and all of a sudden, Heather.
I might need some like emergency singing lessons between now and then, I think. But yeah. Behind the Rant, thank you for coming by. And I've just lost your first name in my memory.
David the producer.
Thank you for being here.
He is a wonderful, wonderful man. Mm-hmm. Juliet will also be live during the live stream for The Cure if you're a fan of her show, the show that he produces.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing show, and he does an amazing job. It's we've got just even more people than we had last year. I love people that are reaching out of the woodwork and like people that I've never heard of, like podcasts I've never listened to, that are just like, yeah, I want to be part of it. And I love, and then like I had this happen last year too. And I've become really big fans of a few different shows because of this last year. But I have them on, like they sign up for the show. They're like, we really want to be part of this. And they're like, here's our show. Here's what we do, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, great. You're going to do your thing when you're on the air. That's perfect. And then I'm like, should I listen to their show before the event? And then I don't.
Okay.
Because I want to hear it live.
Cool.
So I did it with Interrupted Tales. Apologies to everyone else that was on the event last year, but I love you all. But I have become the biggest fan of their show. It is hilarious.
I got to catch their stream last year. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, they're hilarious. They read stories to each other, and then the other one just constantly interrupts them with all sorts of. It's really funny. It's not safe for work. If any of you people out there listening or whatever are safe for work people, maybe not for you, but it's, oh my God, it's so funny. I mean, I just, that's the way it is though. Like there's so many great people. A lot of people came on because they wanted to support Perry and Lindsay and whatnot. Yeah. Like the Idiosyncrasy Files, they were really, really great. They were friends with Perry and Lindsay. They knew Perry and Lindsay, so they wanted to be on the event. Really, really great segments. And it's amazing that everybody brings that flavor just whoosh, wholesale to the whole thing.
Yeah. Is Dana Marie going to be a part of it again?
If she would get back to me, she would be. Dina Marie, if you're listening or watching this, I'm watching you.
Because I followed after her spot last time, and her story, she has an incredible storyteller, and it was amazing to hear her.
She's
spot.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I also know that
here's the problem.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You go.
No, I was saying, she's always so busy.
Yeah. She's
kind of like me in that regard, that she's so busy, and I think that she probably just forgets or whatever. But so I reached out to her first on Twitter. I was like, hey, you want to be part of the event this year? Didn't hear from her. Waited a couple weeks. Maybe she's just busy. Didn't hear from her. Then I messaged her again. Still didn't hear from her. And then I forget. I had her email address from last year, so I just started emailing her all the stuff. And then I'm friends with her on Facebook as well. So I finally messaged her on Facebook. I finally heard back from her, and she's like, oh, yeah, I definitely want to be part of it. And then I haven't heard back from her since. And that was like a month or more ago. I don't want to put anybody on blast. I love you, Dina Marie. She knows I absolutely adore her. But when we recorded Epic Film Guys a couple weeks ago, it's her 100th episode coming up.
Cool.
So we recorded a little segment just to send to Dina Marie as part of our episode. Mm-hmm. And in it, I'm like, Dina, message me, please, about being in Livestream for The Cure 3, because she hasn't gotten back to me yet. And I love her, and I'd love for her to be part of it. But yeah, slots are like jammed full, and like I'm gonna have to start doing that fun thing I had to do last year, because it never fails.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will message me a week before the event and be like, "Oh man, I really want to do this." And I'm like, "Where have you been the past 5 months?"
Yeah. Yeah. And even that, is it just the 5 months that you put into it beforehand? Because that seems like a really short time. Like, I've booked people 3 months before this one, but even that's too short. It's like there is so much that goes into it, and it is hard when people come out of the woodwork real close to go time. There, you just can't leave things
Yeah.
that late.
I think my my biggest thing is it's such an event. It's so taxing that I need a break. And you do Sunshine Summit twice a year, so I don't even like I couldn't even imagine. Even though I had a discussion with one of our patrons and one of our listeners the other day, Scott LeVar, about maybe putting together a local 5K
Mhm.
for something local, not for anything big, like for whatever. But because he really loves to run, I love to exercise. You wouldn't know from looking at me, but I love to exercise. I'm getting back into exercising and everything in a big
Awesome.
way. And I think it'd be really great to do like a 5K run for some local charity or something like that.
Yeah.
So I may start looking into that after the live stream for the cure, but I just need a break. I don't want to think about it. I'm like, I love doing it. I love planning it. I love the connections. I love,
What it's
trying to be
for.
part of something that gives back to the community.
Yeah.
But literally, I got to get it out of my brain for a while before I can think about it again. That's why I don't start until January. Like after the holidays, January, boom, then it ramps up, and then I just hit the ground running and just start going forward.
Yeah.
And then it's like fine. But yeah, I have to get it out of my brain for a while because I'll explode.
Yeah. You're
I can't
giving.
believe you do Sunshine Summit twice a year. I can't. I don't even know.
I'm really grateful that the people that I've connected with are really excited to be a part of it. Just like you've got some great people that are part of Livestream for the Cure, and
Amazing people.
yeah, amazing people. Chris said hashtag
Like
the
Heather
Flash.
from Sunshine and Power Cuts. Yep, that is Scott LeVar. He's actually doing like an ultra marathon or whatever, and he wants to have people donate money, uh, like donate like dollars for miles or whatever, and he wants to give half of the proceeds to Livestream for the Cure, which
Wow.
is really really great. And it's people like that, and it's things like that that just no matter like sometimes you release an episode that you don't think sounded the best, or sometimes you don't get as many downloads as you maybe hoped, or whatever the case may be, but it's always forming those kinds of connections with people because of content that I've created, like that makes me love doing it even more. And especially with the live stream for the cure, like those connections are so amazing. I adore that kind of stuff. Like he doesn't have to do that,
Yeah.
but he
Wants
wants
to.
to. It's just like everybody who wants to be part of live stream for the cure, they're doing it because they want to be part of it. They're doing it because they really just are as passionate about fighting cancer as I am. And I love that. I love that about everybody that puts their input in. You guys are amazing.
Yeah,
Everybody out there. Everybody.
they sure are. Are you gonna have merch again this year?
Merchandise
Yeah. Is
is
that
coming
okay?
theoretically
Mm-hmm.
as soon as my co-host
Mm-hmm.
finishes designing the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
which he is late on again for the third year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He'll Justin, and I love you, Justin. If you're watching, if you ever listen to this, which you probably won't, but I love you. But this is the third year we've done the event, and he has one job. Everything else for the event, I plan everything. All he's got to do is show up and design the artwork.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for it. Third year in a row, still waiting. I'm gonna ring. If he lived closer, I could go bug him in person and like wring his neck. Like, I love him to death. He's amazing. I could never ever imagine doing the event without him, or doing like Epic Film Guys or anything without him.
Yeah.
I just love the rapport that we have. But I'm going to kill you, Justin. That's it.
I loved it
So yeah,
last year.
it will be.
Yeah, you said about the story with Perry and Lindsay bought the t-shirts, and I can visualize in my head that picture of them wearing them. I think they're in the car or something. It's a really
They are in the car.
a
Yep.
fun picture. And I got my live stream for the Cure mug, which I was so excited to get, and it's got 2.0 on it. So if there are mugs this year, I'm definitely getting one of them to add to my collection because I love coffee and I need all of the mugs I need them all.
I think I'm not sure exactly which types of merch we're gonna do.
Okay.
Mugs probably almost certainly. We're not doing the shirts through Redbubble though. The shirts, there's a local company near where we live called Upstate Merchandise
Cool.
or Upstate Merch. I don't think it's short for merchandise. I think it just is Upstate Merch. But anyway, Justin actually knows the owner,
Cool.
and they will put up once we give them the artwork. They will put up a storefront for us. And they will take all the pre-orders for all of the shirts, and then we're going to do pre-orders for shirts. If he gets me the artwork optimistically today, then we could do 6 weeks of pre-sales for shirts, and then they will print and send them all to people.
Wow.
And then I set we have to pick a type of shirt. We have to pick whatever based on the colors of the artwork and stuff. And then once all that's done, we're going to add X amount of dollars on top to donate. The problem that I had with Redbubble last year is whenever Redbubble does a sale, and I didn't know this when I first was trying to figure Redbubble out, whenever Redbubble does a sale, like 20% off, they don't take it out of their end. They take it off across the board. So I was trying to raise money. $6.50, I think, a shirt is what I decided. So I increased the prices on Redbubble to add that extra $6.50 on top of everything. And that's great. And then they offer a sale and you're like, oh yeah, go get in there and buy those Livestream for the Cure shirts. Oh, and then I'm getting $2 a shirt instead of the $6.50 I was supposed to get because of their sale. And that means I had to come up with the other end of it because I've already promised the Cancer Research Institute that this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And it just was like so annoying. So we are not doing Redbubble for shirts, at least. Mugs, yeah. I'm certain we'll do mugs, and we'll do a couple of other different little things. This is one thing I did last year, and I only did this for me just so I could have one, but I had a little acrylic block made with the Livestream for the Cure 2 logo, because the first event, we did not hit our goal. The Livestream for the Cure doubles everything. It's donated in May. They have a benefactor who matches donations up to a certain dollar amount. So we met it with the doubling, but on our own, we didn't make it. Last year, we raised over $5,000 if you include Perry and Lindsay's money in there too, it was probably more like 6,300 that we ended up raising. And then when they doubled the May portion of the Livestream for the Cure money, it put us up to almost $11,000. So because we were so successful, because the event was such a success, I just had this little guy made. I don't know if I'll do it every year. I don't know if it's something I'll do all the time, but I had to commemorate the first year that it was a successful event, because I'm so proud of everybody that came out and helped support it, and all the money they donated and all the money their audiences donated, but also that we actually did it.
Yeah.
You
that's incredible. And here's to an even stronger year this year. You've doubled the amount that you're aiming for this year.
7,500. 7,500. So we didn't double it because I was like, can we really raise $10,000 on our own? The one thing that I'm trying to do this year, and you mentioned earlier about how much I'm streaming now over on our Twitch channel. And there's a reason I'm doing that, because I'm trying to build a presence in the Twitch community. Because we get a ton of donations from a ton of amazing people, but I know either they were somebody that was involved with the event directly, or that I know, or they were the direct audience for that event. What we need to do in order to be able to make it an even more successful event is we need to be able to draw in random donations, just random people who happen to be online and they're like, oh, Livestream for the Cure, what's this? Oh, they're raising money for cancer research, donate, boom. That's what we need to make the event more successful. And since we had literally all the money we raised last year, none, $0 that I can't track back to a show that was on that they're a fan of, they're like an audience member from that show, or from someone that was directly involved with the event, or that I know personally. I can't track every single dollar I can track. None came from just some rando who was like, oh, this seems like a good cause, here's money.
So I hope
that's what we need to break. We need to break that threshold, and then I'll feel confident enough to go for $70 or for $10,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
I similarly with the Sunshine Summit, raising awareness of it so more people can come along and be a part of it and celebrate their connections. And in your case, celebrate their connections to the cause and help and actually contribute to the fundraising that you're doing. I know that Trisha and Shauna from Two Girls on a Bench are going to be a part of it this year, and they are my finale guests for the Sunshine Summit. So I'm excited to be chatting with them on finale day, and we might touch on that then with them. But yeah, they actually, I think, was back when I was on the live stream for The Cure last year, and their bonus or their celebratory episode, they said that they saw me on that and then wanted to be part of live stream for the Sunshine Summit. Now I'm getting my events confused. But anyway, they're very excited to be part of this year's Sunshine Summit, which is amazing.
And they are two amazing women. Loved them. They did The Exorcist with us. No, wait. Yeah, it was The Exorcist. God, what fun that was. That was so much fun. I absolutely adore them. They're going to be part of live stream for The Cure this year, which is really, really nice. Every single time I make one of these connections and somebody else wants to be involved, I'm always floored whenever anybody, no matter how small potatoes or big you think you are in the podcasting world, whatever, I'm always thrilled when people want to give their time to help do anything.
Yeah.
And some people ask me if they can help with anything, and I tell them no, because there's really not, unless you can go right now to Virginia, where my co-host lives, and hit him with a stick until he makes my artwork. I have seen, I wish I had it on here. I would tease it maybe somehow. He has shown me a proof of concept, which I love. It's a completely different direction from what he did last year, which is why he's doing it the way he's doing it. He wants it to be something different. He doesn't want to just take the same logo and put a 3 in it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It's a lot of artistic integrity that he has toward the design, and I really appreciate that. So I kind of love what he's doing with it. But I'm eager to see what tweaks he makes before he releases the final version of it. It's going to be really nice. But
yeah.
Get my work done, Justin.
On that note, are there any other announcement type things or anything that we haven't covered that you want to share in this one? Does anyone in the live chat have questions for us? Because that's your time. And Chris said, awesome finale. And I cannot wait for the finale of the Sunshine Summit.
Bring on the questions, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I have 2 huge announcements. Well, they're not huge. They're not really huge. Whatever. They're huge in my life because of the way that things are going to change for my life. So, first one is when I was part of this event last year, I was in my kitchen over there, and I cooked live on the air because I was like, I have to make this like really cool and do this whole cool thing and make a burger and everything. Restaurant is officially dead. I am going to release the final episode Monday. And I wanted to wait until it was on the Sunshine Summit because I wanted to release this episode or put out the episode or record it and put it out like a month ago. And then it kept getting delayed. And then it kept getting delayed. And then it kept getting delayed. And finally it was just like, okay, I'm just going to wait until I'm on the event to talk about it. Mostly, just in case anybody wants to ask the questions, you know, hit F's in the chat for the restaurant podcast. I changed my shift at work, so I really don't get the opportunity to cook nearly as much as I did before. And unfortunately, the show is a victim to my schedule. I'm so busy most of the time that even the little amount of work that restaurant takes to get it done falls by the wayside usually. Like, unfortunately, it would be a lot of times where even though I've got to do this, and this, it would just fall by the wayside. So last episode of that is coming up on Monday. I'm going to talk about risotto, which is one of the things that I've really wanted to master.
Yeah.
I love restaurant. I love cooking. I still always love cooking. And the community will stay alive. The Facebook community, the reserved seating, that will stay open.
Okay.
And I'll keep posting recipes. I'll keep posting photos of the food I'm making. And we could chat back and forth about whatever everybody's making. That's like I said, probably about 65 to 70% of it is just the fact that I just don't cook nearly as often as I did even 2 years ago,
Yeah.
because my schedule has changed and a lot of things that I've been doing have changed. And well, it's funny that you say that, Adam. David says it's a fave of mine. Do it for me, David. I'll cook just a little quiet, intimate up here session. Like we need to do a three cocks in a pot again, because Adam from Everyone Has a Podcast and myself, that was what actually kind of galvanized the idea to do restaurant, was talking to them about food and talking to them about cooking. So that was really, really kind of where that was born from. And those specials will continue as well.
Okay.
They really, really will. So yeah, final episode of Restaurant. That's 1. And then 2,
Am I ready for number 2? I don't know. Like, that hit me in the feels too. Like, this episode of the Sunshine Summit had a lot of feeling to it. The restaurant podcast was one that was amazing, and you put a lot into it. And I understand how much work goes into it. It's hard with scheduling and things like that. But I am so pleased to hear that the community is staying, because the drooling that still happens in reserved seating, I mean, there's incredible things that happen in there. And to have that community and that space still available, I feel
that's my favorite part, honestly. Like, that's my favorite part of what Restaurant was and what it became, is the community, the reserve seating community. Like, I never update Twitter for that. I just don't have the time. Like, it's just like switching back and forth from Epic Film Guys, where I am so active and so like busy doing all sorts of different stuff. I just, for me, I want to be able to offer fresh content. And I want to be able to offer, insightful content and new things and different varieties of things. And that's one of the other things with Restaurant, because I was cooking so much less. When I was cooking, it was just the same old thing. Like, I didn't have that time to be as creative or to buy the different ingredients and make the different recipes. And I'll say this from a financial perspective: doing a food podcast is hard, because people want you to make recipes, or you want to make different recipes, but then you have to go buy a whole bunch of ingredients you don't have. And it costs a lot, guys. It's like Epic Film Guys, I pay $20 a month for AMC stubs, and I just go watch movies all the time, or I watch them on Netflix or home, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, food, like sometimes, especially like some recipes, you're talking like, I'm at the store and I'm like, how many people are listening to this show? I'm like seeing the dollar signs go up as they're ringing the different ingredients in. And then some people are recommending ingredients that are like really expensive. And I'm like, guys, no, it's never happening.
Before you get to the next piece of news that you want to share, I want to say a massive thank you for the effort that you put into last year's March 2018 Sunshine Summit, for cooking and setting up the system so that you could actually record it while you were cooking, and doing an Irish-inspired burger. You made everybody in the chat on that one very hungry last year. And we've actually had food as a recurring theme this week throughout the live streams of Sunshine Summit, which has been hilarious. And I've thought of you throughout that. But yeah,
that was one of my most. I need to make that recipe again. I haven't made it since last year during the Sunshine Summit, but man, that burger turned out so good. Like, I cooked it perfectly. Like, that whole time, but I was so distracted because I was trying to talk to you and like chatting with people and stuff. So I appreciate that. Thank you. But I did it because I love you and I love doing this event. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna share that afterwards to make everyone get more hungry, and so they can watch the replay of making that burger. Because yeah. And now
even though I did it, like, my webcam was all, I don't know what the resolution of my webcam was, but it doesn't look like as good as I have it set up now. So I probably,
Yeah. So do I need to brace myself for announcement number 2?
No.
Okay.
No. Announcement number 2. And it's funny, like I said, Adam said in there, it's too much work to do 2 shows and be a human. I am still going to do a second show. I wrote a novel last year for NaNoWriMo, National NaNoWriMo Month. Yep. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do, I guess it's like sort of a novel reading and whatever podcast. I don't know if that's a thing, or I'm sure it is, because there's a podcast about literally everything. There's this girl that has a podcast that's about living off the grid in New Zealand. I mean, you can literally podcast about everything.
Wonder who
It's a
does
great
that
show,
one.
by the way.
Thanks, Nick.
You're like, is there another one?
Yeah, wait, what?
But no idea on a title yet, and release date is not going to be until after Livestream for the Cure. I'm not doing it until after that. But the way I'm going to break it down, I've actually been workshopping it a lot with a couple of different people, just kind of having conversations about it. And so I'll read a chapter, and then like 1 month basically, or like I can't decide if it's like a 3 or 4 episode arc. We'll focus on one chapter where I will first, read the chapter, and then maybe get into a discussion of themes, characters, whatever, the larger world. And then I'll think I was thinking of like even a Patreon for it, because I still have the original draft from Nano when I wrote it.
Yeah.
I'll like for patrons, I'll read the original draft. Like you can just hear like the original. This is me just trying to spill as many words onto a page as possible to hit a 50,000 word limit kind of thing. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited to start working on it. And it's a way for me to get my writing out there into people's ears and onto people's eyes or whatever. But also, like I said, I'll read the story, but then I'll talk about the characters, and I'll do like every month, like during an episode arc, like if there's a character that's kind of more prominent in that chapter, I'll do like a character feature, talk more about who they are and what makes them tick. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool way to get really in depth in my writing process.
Yeah.
And plus it's going to force me to write.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. So
I love that, because
I don't know when.
Okay. Well, we'll brace ourselves for that one. Stay tuned. I think that's awesome that it's because you are passionate about writing. I've read some of your pieces that you've shared, and I was so proud of you for doing NaNoWriMo. That not that I had anything to do with it, but I've tried to participate in NaNoWriMo, and I haven't achieved the 50,000 goal or target.
You know what? The first time you ever hit it, it's so exhilarating.
Yeah.
The second time, it's like, oh, finally. Like you're just like it starts to feel way more like a chore at some points, because whatever, it just is what it is. For me, it's a good way to get a sketch, to get a rough sketch of a story. And then after NaNoWriMo ends, you go back. Like there are some people that are like, oh yeah, I wrote it and published it all during. Get out. I can't do that. Editing is where I believe the most creative writing work is done.
Cool.
So it's not until I go back and I start editing that I really start to suss out all those different things and really make it kind of what it is. So like I said, stay tuned for information about that. It'll be either like through Restaurants, because Restaurants Facebook page will stay open, through Epic Film Guys, through my own personal page if you're friends with me on there, on the various 17,000 Twitter accounts that I run, or whatever. Adam actually said something, Christiani said, working with stories of your and yours. It's really funny because number one, Sean Ennis does an amazing show. Listen to it if you don't. But it was listening to Sean's show, and especially listening to the way that he gives life to reading other people's work. At first I was like, I'm going to send him a piece of this. I'm going to send him part of this. I want to hear him read it on the air. And I may still do that with some other work, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, why don't I just turn my novel into a podcast and turn the process of creating it and turn the world it lives in into a podcast? So that's kind of where the genesis of it came from. I am not doing it as an audio drama. Do you have any idea what a pain it is to get people to do literally anything at all? Ask Heather. Heather, how much of a pain is it to organize and get people to do stuff?
It's tricky.
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge
sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have, like, I may have a voice come in to do, especially female characters and stuff, but largely I am not. No. I will do different voices probably when they're speaking, but I don't know. I haven't even like workshopped exactly the presentation of the story itself.
Yeah.
I'm more workshopping it conceptually, because it can't just be every episode is just me reading a chapter of a book. It can't be that. It's got to be more than that, or otherwise it's just an audio book reading, and I want it to be way more than that. So I don't know. That's it. That's what I'm doing.
I know that you'll put a lot into it, because you always do. And Like, you've had so many different elements to the Restaurant podcast, and while we say goodbye to that one, it'll be amazing to hear this, and I'm glad that it's using your passion for writing and giving you another way of sharing that. I think it's going to be very exciting. So definitely stay tuned, everybody. Check it out after. It'll be way after, well, not way after, but after Livestream for the Cure, because that's an epic
I'm
event
aiming
that we're
for
doing.
like at least, I would say mid to late summer.
Okay.
At this point is what I'm aiming for in terms of a release at the very earliest, and it may actually not make it until the fall. It depends on if I can get the final concept workshopped and nailed down. Then who knows? I don't know. It's all something that's up in the air. But like I said, I'm going to keep cooking. Don't think I'm not going to cook. The reserve seating community will stay alive, and every so often, David, Adam, and I will get together and do a cooking special that airs as part of Adam's podcast, and you'll still be able to hear me talk about food over there, which is really, really fun.
That is awesome. I just want to go back to Chris's comment about rain makes the sunshine more of a blessing. I love those things. I'm all about the things tied to the weather and that, and it's been hilarious this week. It's the Sunshine Summit, and I'm looking out there and it's dark and miserable. So we've brought our own sunshine to the Sunshine Summit again.
What are you
today.
talking about? Look at.
Oh, you've got sunshine. You brought sunshine. That's amazing. I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
I brought my sunshine. You brought your natural sunshine, and you are sunny and bright. And I'm excited for Livestream for the Cure in May. Proud to be part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming back for a March Sunshine Summit, Nick.
I will come back and do this anytime. Literally every time. I didn't come back. Wait, I didn't do it last August because I was like, no, let other people do it. I'm a whore when it comes to content. I literally will put my hands on everything. And I'm like, no, let other people have a chance, Nick.
Well, I appreciate you being here a whole year later. Amazing. Glad that we're able to do this again. And yeah, thank you to everybody who came by the live chat. Awesome to see you in there. David, Chris, Adam, another David was there, Ducky. Yeah. Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate. Keep coming back, Nick. Yes, I will. I adore you. I adore your show. Your show inspires me. Your show gives me that kind of positive kick I need from time to time. So it's something that I really, really appreciate. And it's something that I love listening to. And I love being part of this event. I really, really just thank you for having me because you're amazing. And I love getting to do this. I really, really love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for supporting me too, as you did throughout last year and continuing to support me. It's truly appreciated.
Listen to her show. Wait, I don't need to tell you guys that, right?
Yeah.
If you're here just for me, which you're not, if you are, Christiane, listen to her show. It's amazing and it will inspire you. Do yourself a favor, create a podcast playlist of the first 7 Sunshine episodes. Not that the others aren't great too, because they are, but those are the 7 Days of Sunshine challenge.
Yeah.
And all about empowerment and inspiration and drawing positivity and empowerment from nature. And it really saved me from some dark days, no pun intended, but it also, inspired me to think about the world in a different way at times. And I owe that all to you. I really, really do. And your show, because it's amazing.
Thank you, Nick. I'm so amazed and also in awe that it's had that impact on you and others. So yeah, definitely would love it if people check that one out. And we've got on
people.
We've got on the screen the links to Restaurant Pod Twitter, but we've got Livestream for Cure. There's also at Epic Film Guys on Twitter. We've got the reserved seating is the Facebook group for Restaurant Pod, Epic Film Guys, and there's an event for Livestream for the Cure on Facebook as well. I don't have the link to that here, but I can get that and share
that is linked over. You can also go to livestreamforthecure.com. All this stuff is also linked on the livestreamforthecure.com webpage through the Cancer Research Institute. There's a link in there for the Facebook, a link in there for the Twitch channel so you can subscribe, follow the channel early, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
A link to the Twitter. I do believe I need to get a link in there to the Google Drive for the promos. But other than that, everything you can find it right at that central hub as well, because it's amazing. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do this event for a 3rd year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, like I said, I'm going to just be live for probably like 2 or 3 days straight or something like I don't even know. Like somebody will just have to push my corpse out of the chair when I pass out and take over for a few hours while I sleep. And then I'll get back on the air and be like,
awesome. So get over to Twitch. The Twitch isn't linked on my little thingy that I've got up on the screen, but we'll get it out there and share it around and come along to the live streams and help build the community before the event. Thank you so much.
You can get on there at twitch.tv/epicfilmguys. And yeah, every Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. And coming soon, more content over there. I'm going to start airing, especially probably in the last month. I'm going to start airing all of last year's live stream for the Cure segments, just audio, probably not the video.
Yeah.
Because the video audio is, my microphone levels were terrible last year during the event. Really bad.
Yeah. I had issues with that in the first March Sunshine Summit too. And so, yeah, it's tricky when that happens.
You learn so much every time you do one of these events. You learn so much, and then the next one presents a whole slew of different complications that you never had before.
Isn't it wonderful, Nick, this thing that we're doing?
Yeah. But it's worth it.
It is.
Because of what it allows us to do. It really is.
Exactly. All right. Thank you to everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being here to support us.
Thank you.